everyone, and welcome to the Orland Public Library's Tiny Painting Corner. Today we are painting Saturn, as you can see. So let's get started with our program. So, as you know, we have to get started. We have our little 2x2 canvas here, our paper towels at the ready, our cup filled with water and soap, as you know, featuring the boys as we always do. And we have our paints. Yours will be in the little pots. Notice how we have an abundance of white and black. The black will be our background for a nice opaque black, and the white is for the stars and a whole lot of blending for today. And we have our 3 paint brushes. Now my paint brushes vary from yours because I do not have the same. These are my personal brushes. We have our bigger brush, which is coupling with my angled brush I have here. We have the medium-sized brush, which you guys do have, which we use for detailing and some blending. And then we have a smaller brush, which I have right here. This is going to be different than yours, but it's the same size. And I have 2 extras just in case mine didn't quite match up, but this one was the one I needed. So, the first thing we are going to do, oh, and don't forget your pencil. And since we're going to be doing some blending today, what you're gonna want is to get a lid, put some aluminum foil over it so you're able to blend out your paints in a separate area, because that is going to be very important. So I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. And as you guys are getting that ready, you can pause. And the first thing we are going to do is draw the planet. Now Saturn, I'm not sure if everyone knows, but it is an angled planet. It is not quite in the same, focused area as the rest of the planets. It's tilted. So we're going to use that to our advantage. And I'm going to turn the canvas a little bit as a diagonal. And we're going to draw our nice oval. There we go. And then we're going to get Saturn's rings. Nice and around. It does not have to be perfect because as we did with Mars, we are going to be painting over it and you could change it how you want, but this is going to be the basic shape of Saturn that we have here. There we go. You want to leave this space right here open though. You do not want to go out of this space. You want to keep that open because that's where we're going to put Saturn's symbol at the end. I'm going to erase that for now, but that was just a little visual aid for you guys. So to start off with the base of Saturn, what we're going to use is our medium-sized brush here. We're going to dip that into our water to soften it if it's a little harder for you guys, and maybe nice and soft you don't have to. We're going to dip that in to the water. And as you know, when I like to do a dip, I like to go for the good old Bob Ross, flicking it back and forth to get some of the excess off, and tap it on the napkin. Because if there's too much water, then it is going to show on your canvas and make it wet. I like to test it on my hand, and it seems like the perfect amount of wetness. We are going to dip into our tan color right here. Get a good amount on your brush. Looks like this. And we're just going to paint the whole planet this nice tan color. Saturn is one of the more subdued of the gas giants in their colors. As we know, with Jupiter, it's a brilliant red with all the fun swirls. Neptune and Uranus are pretty blues. Saturn is a whole lot of mixing. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing a whole lot of blending to get the unique coloring of Saturn. It's very pastel-y, very pretty. To paint the whole thing. As you see, I'm going out the line a little bit, dipping back in. Also, Saturn's a little bit more oblong than the other planets. And another Saturn fun fact, I remember this from when I was in school, that Saturn is the least dense planet. If you were able to get a bathtub that could fit Saturn in there, it would be able to float in it. That is how light Saturn is. We're going to go back on the rings after we have painted the rest of the planet. That is just an outline so you know that the rings are there. So, we're going to go into the water, tap that off, get that ready for next time. And we are gonna go in And we're going to start on the bottom half of the planet. We're going to start going from this area down. So from that area down, that's going to be our more orangey, a little bit blue. And so we're going to start off by wetting our smaller brush here. Getting that into the water, wetting it, tapping it off. Just on my hand, a little bit too wet for me. I'm going to make sure it's kind of dry for this part because we just want to get the colors on. So you're going to dip into the bright orange right here. And you're going to start by doing a technique that we've used often at Tiny Paint Corner, which is what I like to call the zigzag. Just go back and forth with light zigzags. You want your brush strokes to be really light when you're doing this. It's going to seem as if you're picking up some paint, but that is okay because that is the point for this painting. You're going to want to do just a bunch of little light zigzags. Dip back into the orange. Do some light zigzags across it. Light lines, just light little flicks. And then back to the zigzags. Back and forth. Maybe it's more comparable if this is helpful to you, as if you're shading something in with a pencil. You want to go down the planet, come back up, go back and forth with little zigzags, very light. You don't want to go too heavy. Doing a little swirl pattern on the side to blend in on the edges, make like a little J. And then back to zigzags. And like I said, it's okay if you go outside the lines a bit, because the best part about when we're doing plants, if you go outside the lines, it's okay, because all this is going to be painted black, so no one will see. I'm going to go in, clean off the brush a little bit. Dab that off. And then we're going to go into this nice vanilla-y color. It's kind of like a beige. You want to dip it in just a little bit on the brush. You're gonna go over this area again, and then you're gonna blend that in, doing the same shading technique. This is gonna lighten it up, and it's also gonna help blend it into our nice beige color in the background. It's also going to keep a bit of the orange that we had. Just little flicks. And it's very important that you stay in this area because the top half is green and blue, so you don't want the orange to go up there. So you want to stay on this line. The rings help as a guide, so think of where this ring stops is where you want to stop with this. You're going to go back into the orange, add some more orange in there, drag that along. One of the fun parts about doing these planets, as we did with Mars, is that it's going to look like a mess until the very end when we have everything together. And right now, I'm just going to lightly brush off the orange. We don't need to clean the brush because it's a whole lot of blending section. And we're going to dip into our nice lavender purple color, just a little bit on the tip. And right here in the middle, we're going to do some nice lavender purple lines right here. Over here in this corner. And right on the edge right here. Gonna dip into the lavender again and do those again. You want them to stand out for right now, because you want to have enough to be able to blend it out, because if you don't put enough on the canvas before you blend it out, it's just going to turn to a whole lot of nothing. There. Clean off the brush on the paper towel, and then with the dry brush, you're gonna make it just a little bit flatter, as you see right here. Take it on the edge, it might be a little rounded, and buff that out in just a little kind of like dotting circle technique. You want to keep your hand heavy on the paintbrush on the stick part, but make your strokes very light. You want to have a good grip on here, because if you're too loose, the paintbrush is going to come out of your hand. But you want to make sure your strokes are light. And then we're going to go in to right here, into our nice turquoisey color. Just a little bit on the brush. And we're going to do dots. Little dots around the edges. And dots in the middle. And dots back around the edge. And then once you have your dots, you're going to do a line around. Line right here. Line around again. And then we're going to get that excess off and go back with our zigzag. Zigzag and swirl. We want to give it a bit of a blue hue right here. Now I know you're looking at your painting and thinking this looks really muddy. I promise you it's going to come together. You have to trust me. Trust me as you did with Mars. In the end, it all came together. So we're going to go in. This part is a bit dangerous. It's a bit dangerous of a part. But we are going to take this olive green color. And you have to be really light with this because it's a dark color and it's hard to cover up in this section because everything else is light. And you're going to take it and go around the blue area with it. Very lightly. Just barely touching the canvas. You want to go around this blue line that you had right in the center with this olive green. It may look like it's not even showing up, but I promise you it is there. It's giving it a bit of a green hue, and that's what we want. You don't want to go too hard because that's going to be hard to cover up. And so we're going to dip back into the water. And since we have our blue foundation now laid down, we're going to get into some yellowy oranges. And do that, we're going to take our yellow hue right here. Nice light yellow, dip in. And scrape off a little bit. And we're going to go back to where we had our oranges and go back over. And just in case you were doubting the green, once you put the yellow down, it's going to show up. Gonna lighten it up. Back into the yellow. Just get a little bit on the brush. I have this much. Go around. The purpose of this right here is to lighten up the planet. But it's a light enough color that you can still see the other colors underneath. Around the edges. Lighten that up. You don't want to go too far around the edge. You want to make sure that blue is there. We need that blue around the edge. We're going to go into our orange. And we're actually going to dip into the white a little bit. It's going to turn your paint white. Well, white, orange. But it's okay. Orange and white. And I'm just going to mix it out a little bit right here. You should get this nice little pastel-y orange color right here. You're going to blend that around. All of these layers make up our base, so we're able to get a unique coloring underneath. I know you may feel like you just got rid of all your blending work, but trust me, that was needed because that wouldn't have shown up without it. And then we're going to go back into our purple. No need to clean off the brush. Dip into the white. You want to keep your dipping colors once you're dipping into white in one corner, so you don't mess up the rest of the white. I'm going to go right here so you can see it. Blend those out together and just get this very pale purpley color. is what we like. And you remember where purple was. It was this line right here. We're going to do just short little line. Blend that. Do a little purple line right here. Blend that. Looking cute. Not really, it's not looking like that right now, but I promise you, once it's said, come together. Blend that out, blend that out, blend that out. And then we're gonna go actually into the white. We want the white this time. And what you're gonna do is take the white and make little lines right here, right here, right here, and right here. Take those white lines, stretch them out with the lightest stroke. Clean off your brush. Could be a little drier for me. Go into the orange, do not dilute it this time. And start to paint the orange back on. Because we lost it just a little bit. We're going to paint back on, keep it light around the white. It's going to make that area turn into a nice pastel, but the area around it's still going to be orange. Little lines. And if your plant's looking a little bit oblong, it is a-okay. The black will fix everything. We're gonna go into the blue, dot that. Get a little swirly on the blue. Buff that out. Clean off your brush. And then blend it all together from each other. And that's gonna give it a blue hue instead of making the whole planet blue. It's not what we want. Go into the purple, light dot. Dot it out. Blend it. Line, line, line. No, we don't need to fix that. And then back in with the yellow. You actually want like a good amount of yellow right here. This much. And in this corner, you're gonna take the yellow, have a good line, make like a tornado. Have a little funnel cloud right here of yellow. Get that off your brush. Go into vanilla. Dot it into the center of your tornado. Clean off your brush. Go in with the purple. Dot it into this area right here. Make a short little dash. Clean off your brush. Go into the orange and add a line right here. Clean off your brush. We're actually going to go and get our medium-sized brush right here. It should be nice and dry from earlier. You're gonna take that and you're gonna use it to blend all that together. Very lightly. This is like the hardest part when painting this planet is how unique the coloring is and how there's so many layers upon it, but you also can't forget to add your stripes because there's little stripes in Saturn, as we know. And so you're gonna have your white line right here, back in with the skinnier brush, and line right here. Make it extra skinny by pulling it together with your fingers. Make sure you don't have paint on them because then your fingers will turn yellow. And then dip into the purple. You're gonna get a purple line right here, very lightly, purple line, and then a second purple line. Lightly blend it out. You don't want to get rid of the purple line, you just want to blend it. And when you go around the edges, you want to curve it because the planet is 3D, so you're going to want to make sure you curve that. You're going to do the same for the white, but make sure you clean off your brush. Curve that. Back with the orange and white combo. Put in a line right here, curve that. Orange again at the bottom. A lot of orange at the bottom. Bring it into the purple and into the blue. Go into the beige again. Go around there, around the edge, into the white, around the edge. Help clean it up as well. Clean it off. Blend that in with light flicks. We'll give it the line pattern we're looking for. And with the teal, and you're also going to dip into green. Need more green. Teal and green. You're going to mix those together. It's not going to look as too much of a color change because teal is a green-based blue. But it's going to give you a slightly different color than the original teal. Clean that off on the paper towels a bit because that's too much. Dip into there, and then on the edges, quick lines. Quick little blue lines. They're a bit angry lines, but still very soft. And you're going to just do that a little bit right here. Smaller lines, you don't want to make them as big. And then we have the bottom half almost done. All we need to do is add just a little bit of that orange right at this top part. It's just the tiniest bit of orange right here. Blend that in there. And then you're going to make a tiny tornado. And we got the bottom half of Saturn. I know it took some time getting there, but we do have the bottom half of Saturn. It looks odd with just this brown part at the top, but we're about to make it green. So we are going to get started doing our top half. As you see, there's a bit of a color difference, but it's okay because it's still similar, and that's how we're gonna go for it. And we're gonna do our top half right here. And as you see, the ring goes around, so it gives you that divide, but you're not gonna see that right here, obviously, because we don't have the ring yet. But we're going to be doing this top half, which is blue, purple, and green. Canvas fell. All right, so to get started with that, we are going to do the bottom half first. We're going to dip into the water because the brush has become a little bit flailed after that dry blending. Moisten it up. I like to flatten it out for this portion. Very nice. Looks like a little paddle. And we're going to go into our olive green. And we're going to get a good chunk. Put that off to the side onto your, it could be a yogurt lid. That's what I usually use. But any kind of lid is okay. And we're going to go into the white. Nice glob. And we're blending that together. You want a large glob of white because we are big on pastels for Saturn. Put that in. Get rid of some of that paint so you don't put too much of a large glob on there. Nice and dryish. And we're going to dip in right here. And we're gonna just go around. This part is much easier than the bottom because there's not as many colors. There's only 3, including white. Well, we have 4, including white. But all you're gonna do is just go around. This part could be a bit messy because all we're trying to do is get that base green. There's not a particular brush pattern, whatever you have to use to get that green on there. Sometimes I dot on the edges. I'm a little careful because you want to be a little bit careful on this top half because we're going to have the ring right here. The ring is going to cut in between this, so you're not going to have the black to help get rid of any mistakes. Dip in and go into your purple. Put the purple on top of the green. Blend it to the side. Just like so. And then I'm gonna clean that off again. And the very top half is a nice turquoise blue. Dip into that. And you're gonna go around and get that top. And those are all the colors you really need. So from here, what you're gonna wanna do is we're going to get our handy dandy smaller brush again. Dip into the water, clean it off very nice. And that's when you're gonna take it, dry, no paint on there, and just a piece of paintbrush coming off, and drag it along the 2 colors, well 3 colors. Make short little lines, bring it along, blend it down, curve it at the end, and around the edges. I'm gonna do that. Dry it off. Go into the purple, since we did the blue bit. Lines of purple all down it. The top half is so much easier and it's more tranquil because you don't have to worry about putting 10,000 different colors. I like the top half of Saturn better. And then you're going to go into your Made Olive Green. Go around. Into there. Curve it. I'm going to dip into the water just a little bit because the brush is a little too dry. Going in. And you're going to be very light. With the tip, you're going to curve around the end. Right there. And using the same brush after dipping into the water, very lightly, are you going to go around the canvas. You just barely dipped it into the water. So you could go around the planet and do some soft blends. And you're going to take this olive green, the light one, just dip it barely in there, just the tiniest bit of paint. You're going to take it to the bottom because it has to be continuous. And put a little bit of this color at the bottom, right here. Dip into the water to clean off the brushes a little bit. I like to go with this method. Make sure it's dry enough. And because it's wet, it's gonna blend out nicely, just like that. And you have your top top and bottom half of Saturn. It doesn't look like it's continuous because that's where the ring's gonna go. But once the ring is there, it's gonna look completely different. So next, what we're going to do is make the ring. Now for the ring, we have two sections. The first one, we're going to go in with purple straight on. And you're going to take it, and I made the ring upside down, so give me a second. I need my pencil to erase that. I'm very sorry, everyone. I drew it upside down, but that's okay. Okay. So you're going to take the ring, and starting from this half, you want to leave a gap and go up and down. And you're going to touch it on this half. And you're going to cake some more of the purple paint and just use it to smooth it out. Make it more of a ring shape. And you're going to come back down over here. Connect that. And come up. And if you want, you can make your ring a little bit lower. It just depends on which angle you're looking at Saturn, really. And you're going to go into white. You're going to take that and you put it into the ring. You're going to sketch around it, and you're going to go down just a little bit below. And come back around and start blending that in. You should get a nice lighter color. You're going to take it and color that whole part in with the white with very light strokes. You're going to make little rounder strokes, a little broader. And very delicately are you going to blend that white in with the purple, still leaving this spot right here open. And then and we're going to go back. I know I said we were done with the planet, but I lied. We have to go back and go in with the blue and bring that planet up just a wee bit. Like so. Go into the green again, darker, to fill in a gap right here. Blend that out with a little light circle motion. You might catch up a little blue, that's okay, that's what we want. Go into the purple once more. Go in over here. And you're going to want to blend that in and take it into the ring. You want to make this part skinnier. Like so. Go into the beige first, then orange. I'm gonna leave a little bit of the green right there. Brush off the paint and dot that in and blend. start with the orange, take a little bit off, and go into it. Orange, off, in. Very light on the strokes. A little orange. Don't take it off this time. It's going to naturally blend in because we have already had enough of the purple come off the edge. And you're going to go into the purple. Minimal cleaning for this planet, really, because all the colors blend in together. Go around the edge. Make sure you keep it light. Adding a second coat around the ring. The ring in the sky, you are going to want to have be one of the most opaque parts, because that's going to be a standout component of the planet. It really makes it what it is. Back into the white. Go a little skinnier around this part. And then you can flatten out again. And then you're going to blend that in together, like so. And then we're going to get our smaller brush, clean it off if you had any paint on it. Go into white. You want a strong white line. You don't want to blend that in. Oh, too much white. But nice strong white line right here, and a little bit right here. I have some water on there. And then you are going to take the purple once again and just very lightly, because it's a very skinny line, do a nice concentrated deeper purple right here in this area. A very skinny line. Make sure you don't go into the planet. And you're going to dip into that gray. We have not used that yet. We're going to use it for this part. And blend it like we did with the white into this purple. Very tiny amount of gray. And then you're going to take your blue and just lightly highlight around here. Just do it very lightly and then add just some lines. And you're going with the light green. Adding some lines in as well. Light green, dot, line. Purple. Flick to blend. And then a dot, the tiniest dot of white. You don't want too much. In this one area, tiny specks of white. Right there. Clean off your brush. Some bristles coming off. This is a very old brush. And blend that in with the dry brush. Like so. Now, we're finally going to get into the sky. into our large vat of black. Saturate your brush in this black. Move this out the way. And you're going to take it and just slather that black on. Go very light around the edge. We're using this much black because just in case you missed the Mars video, we use this large amount of black because we want to recreate as much as the dark vacuum of space as we can and create that void. The planets stick out as much as they do is because they're just like a nice bright spot in an otherwise very black sky. And that's what we're trying to create. Also, it helps with the cleanup around the planet. Very light around the edge. I'm using the very edge of the brush to go around spaces like this. Just dip my whole thumb into the side of that black. Use the very edge, the tiniest bit of the tip to go around the edge of this. Make it just like that. You could go broader around the edges of the canvas itself because there's nothing there. Paintbrush almost came off. And dance around the very tip. Color that in. Just going to get rid of that black on my finger. And we're going to do the technique that I showed you before where you have your two fingers and you put them in and you go like this. We're going to do that, but I'm going to use the right finger. I just want to show you. You have your two fingers here, put them in, twist, and hold it so you're able to paint the edges without messing up your fingers. Unless you want to get the black paint everywhere, then by all means, you know what, you could do it. It could also help with the painting if you want to do some finger paintings. Paint around the edge. You don't have to have a particular brush stroke around the edges because there's nothing there. So you could just paint however wildly you want. The plane is far enough away that if you go a little bit outside the edge, that you will not hit it and you won't mess up the planet. And make sure you have a pretty good finger grip on here because you don't want it falling face down and messing up your masterpiece thus far. You see how the planet's already popping? Just from putting that large first glob of paint. We're going to go into our medium brush here. You're going to take that paint, go into the black, and we're going to go inside the ring. Be very careful. And you're going to make it skinnier than what we had before. Go around it like so. Gonna cut into the planet just a little bit. And we're using just the very tip of the brush to get in here. And this part is the angled part, and you're gonna cut it in a nice diagonal line like so. And the line should look as such. It's not that the rings stop going, it's just the angle of the planet to which we painted it. It looks as if the ring is gone, but it just is not in light. Another Saturn fun facts, the rings of Saturn are actually a bunch of rocks floating at high speed, spinning around so fast that it looks like a line. Some of Saturn's moons are actually within its rings, which we will be making in a few seconds. You're going to go into that black, use the tip, and you're going to cut around to make the different rings. You know, Saturn has 6 rings, but we're only showing 2 really. You're going to pan off right here. And going to start up again at the very tip, very lightly. Go here and around. Using the very tip of it. And you're going to do the bottom half as well. You're going to do very light up and down strokes of the black right around the edge. This is to create a shadow. We're going to go in with the white in a second for that part. Take the white and you dab that on the edge where we just created that one line. And a little bit more white. You don't want too much because then your ring is just going to be white. You just want a little bit to create a shadow. If you don't want to quite go with this method, if you don't trust yourself too much with doing the white mixing with black, you can just use the gray paint you have and be very light-handed on it. That would also work. Creates that little shadow right there. Then you're going to clean off your brush. Make sure there's no paint on there because we have to sharpen it up again. Go in with that black once more, good dip. And around the edge right here. Like so, make that a little more rounded. And we're about to add a moon. You're gonna put a moon right here, have a nice little dot. One moon. You're gonna add a moon right here, a nice another dot. And then you're gonna add one last moon right at the edge, right there. And then you have your little moons of Saturn. And your background should be dried at this point. And if you have some weird oblong shapes going here, you can take that time to go around it. And if you want, you can also make your ring a bit bigger. And by doing that, all you have to do is go around the planet with the black. The rings will appear bigger if your planet is smaller. So for those of you who want to, let me show you how to do that. You just cut around the planet with the black. You see how the ring looks just a little bit bigger just from doing that little thing right there? You don't want to cut off too much of the planet because then it'll look weird. But just a little bit of the planet at a time. The lightest strokes. We're mainly been using a lot of the tip to create. And we're going to go back in with the black. You don't really have to clean it off if you don't want to because like I said, just glob it with black paint. And you're going to take this and go around and do your second coat. One of the most important bits of these planet paintings is having such a black background because it looks so much better and cleaner when that background is as black as you could make it. Like I said, we're trying to recreate that nice void of space. A nice Saturn fun fact for you once again. Saturn, I do believe, is the Roman name for the Titan Kronos, who I believe is the god of time in Greek mythology. Greek mythology offers, well, Roman mythology often mirrors Greek, and I'm pretty sure he is also the great god of time, the father of Zeus. He swallowed Zeus when he was a child, and the rest of the kids. And as you see here with this blacker background, I'll pick it up for you. We have our planet Saturn and how it sticks out. You see? Looks very cute. I told you it would all come together at the end. Always trust the process. And the last bits we are going to do is make our stars. Now you're going to want to really glob this up because this is a very thick black background, so you're going to want a lot of white. And to do the stars, you could do it any kind of way. You could have a big star like that with a harder dot. Do a light dot right with the tip, quicken off. Nice little baby stars. This is where you barely touch it. You can put however many stars you want in your night sky. It does not really matter. It is up to you if you want to have. If you don't want stars at all, you even have to put the stars there. But I like to have a couple stars in my paintings. I think it helps give more of a space theme. Let's put just a few stars around. And remember to leave that spot open. We are going to make Saturn symbol. And we have our night sky right here. Looking very cute. And we're about to make Saturn symbol. Okay. And we are going to dip into the red because now we are about to make the Saturn symbol, like I said. Nice big glob because of that dark black. We're going to use our skinny one. And the Saturn symbol, if you have not noticed, is an H with some flourish. I wish I had some lore behind the symbol for you, but I don't. I know I had it for Mars because that was the male symbol. But I don't have anything here for you. But you're going to go in this corner, draw a line, and down, basically like you're making an H. Go back in. And then you're going to go up, down, boom. Just an H with a little foot at the end. That is the Saturn symbol right there. There we go. We have our planet of our mini planet series. Here we are, everyone, looking nice and Saturny. One of my personal favorite planets just from the rings. It was my favorite as a child, but then I switched over to Neptune as I got older. But we're going to be doing Neptune in December. So here we are with our second painting. The black is not completely dry, as you can see, but it will dry. And we have our little Saturn to go with your little Mars. I hope you guys all had a tubular fun painting time, and I hope for you guys to come back for our next painting corner in December to do, I was about to say Mercury, I just said it, Neptune. Hope you guys have a good time. Bye.